What's flapping, Spaniel's ears? Welcome back to Monkey Boys Toys, and welcome back to the item of seating furniture that is... Oh my goodness, can it really be? Yes, it can. It's the sofa. Thanks for joining me again. Here's a regular-sized plush Batman to look at. Now, this week I've got a few Star Wars figures, which I think I'd like to show you. So without further ado, let's remove the standard-sized plush Batman from the scene. And bring in the first figure, which is a fan favourite, and it's Bossk. Here he is. I managed to pick up the Kenner Bossk figure for a very good price. I didn't have him in the collection, rather surprisingly, so yeah, thought I'd pick him up. Now, Bossk he belongs to a species called Trandoshans, and they're a species of large bipedal reptilians from the planet Trandosha, and they were renowned for their great hunting skills, a bit like the predator species that we're all familiar with. Now, Bossk here was one of the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy, and Boba Fett is quoted as saying of him, "Even when a Trandoshan pays you a compliment, it sounds like a threat." So yeah, there we go. There's Bossk, the Trandoshan bounty hunter. Pretty nice condition all round. He's got a little bit of paint rub on his back there, but other than that, he's in very good condition. Now, there were of course many different variants of Bossk with different coloured arms and feet, all sorts of different variations you can get. I'm not going to get any more than this one. I'm happy with this one for my collection. I think this is a fairly standard Bossk figure. So yeah, this is the first thing that I picked up recently. Let's take him out. And here we go. It's Nadon, better known to most of us as Hammerhead. Now, Hammerhead belongs to a sentient species called Ithorians, originating from the planet Ithor, or Ithor. And they were called Hammerheads or Leathernecks as an insult. Now, as a species, Ithorians were peaceful and they revered nature. In fact, so strong was their pacifism that they would often exile violent individuals from their homeworld. Now, it's not particularly obvious on this sculpt, but Ithorians have two mouths, one on each side of their neck. And they actually have four throats, which sort of it means that this unusual physiology gives them a very deep sort of rumbling voice, and means that they speak in stereo, which I thought was quite interesting. Now, most Ithorians were herbivorous, and many occupied their time gardening or studying philosophy. However, not all Ithorians followed these pursuits. There were in fact some cunning Ithorian bounty hunters, which I think is a great concept, and is actually the reason I'm making this video. But more about that in a moment. First, I'd like to show you a couple more figures that I picked up. It's worthy of note that this figure I've got has got a very loosey-goosey head. His limbs are stiff, but his head is quite loose. But that's okay. He does have a reproduction blaster, unfortunately, but that's okay. I'm perfectly happy with that. Anyway, yes, onto the other two figures I'd like to show you. The first of which being, it's Bossk again, and this is the Power of the Force 2 version of Bossk. Now, I do like this sculpt. I think he looks really cool. Not all of the Power of the Force figures looked particularly good, because some of them were a bit too buff and a bit too hench. But I think the sculpt works well on Bossk. He looks good. If I bring in the Kenner version again, I think the Power of the Force 2 one, obviously there's more detail and he looks a bit more menacing, whereas the Kenner version, he looks sort of quite placid really. He looks quite sweet. Doesn't look that scary at all, whereas this the Power of the Force 2 version, we see more teeth and he looks a bit more sinister. But yeah, so I picked up the Power of the Force 2 version of Bossk as well. Let's just move him down here for a second, and I will show you the next figure I've got, which is it's Nadon again. Nadon, sorry. There we go. Hammerhead. Again, this Power of the Force sculpt, I think he does look pretty cool. And you can actually see the mouth on the side of his head better because it's sculpted in with more detail, so you can see the long, thin mouth on the side of his neck there, on each side. So yeah, I thought he was quite cool, so I decided to pick up these guys from the Power of the Force 2 line. But I wonder what would happen if you were to sort of cross these two figures. So we've got the bounty hunter Bossk here on the left of the screen, and we have the pacifist Nadon or Hammerhead on the right of the screen. But I wonder what would happen if we were to combine the two. Now, with the power of some very poor and entry-level special effects, maybe we can find out. 1, 2, 3. Hey! And there we go. This is what happens when you cross the two. So here we have Hammerhead and Bossk combined into this really quite nifty little custom figure that I picked up recently. I think he looks really cool. So as you can see, it's the body of Bossk from the Power of the Force 2. And the arms, feet and head of Hammerhead from the Power of the Force 2. And I thought this was a really cool looking custom figure. If I bring in the standard Nadon figure, if I stand them together, you can see that this custom does stand quite a bit taller than that figure. So he's quite a big figure. I would say this is he's probably over 4 inches tall. But I picked this figure up for £15, and I just thought it was really unusual. And I mean, obviously there were some Ithorian bounty hunters. I forget their names now. But although there were Ithorian bounty hunters, they were quite unusual. And obviously we haven't had a figure of, or I don't believe we've had a figure of any of the Ithorian bounty hunters, so I thought that this was quite an unusual custom, and it was quite interesting to me, so I thought I would pick that one up. I thought he was quite cool. So yeah, there we go. If I bring all the figures back in just for a lineup, there we go. So there's Bossk, the original Kenner figure. Here we have the Kenner Hammerhead figure. We'll bring in the Power of the Force Bossk, stands a little bit taller than the Kenner figure, and the Power of the Force Hammerhead again stands a little bit taller than the vintage figure. And finally, in the centre, let's pop the custom figure. I'm not sure what to call him, whether I should name him after one of the actual Ithorian bounty hunters, or whether I should just call him Hammerhead the Bounty Hunter. I'm not sure. Let's zoom in a bit if we can. There we go. So there are the 5 figures that I thought I'd show you today. I hope that was at least a little bit interesting for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and share it with any other spaniel's ears you may know. Do subscribe if you haven't done so already, and do let me know what you thought of this custom figure. But yeah, that's about it for today, so I'm going to make like a shepherd and get the flock out of here. See you later. Bye.